on, and that's probably what. Can you hear me now? We can hear me, but it's not the mics. You're hearing me naturally through the phone. This is like going to be like doing a regular live without anything, kind of naked. Well, guys, I'm sure really glad that you were patient and hung in here with me. I'm really struggling to see what anybody's saying, but you can hear me. Okay, so I got the iPad on. What I had done, and I was so excited, is a few years ago, there's a company named Elgato. You may be familiar with that company, John. They make a scrambler that will allow your the DSLR camera, your overhead camera, work like a webcam. And I've been working on it all weekend. It was looking beautiful today. And the last two live streams, multi-streams we did, all I did was just come on and didn't use the camera on my computer and use my phone for all of it. Today, I added the overhead camera in there, and obviously issues with the sound, which of course we're gonna have to. Yeah, I'm sure you're very familiar with Elgato. So the reason why is I wanna be able to go full overhead camera. It's gonna give a bigger screen for all of us to look at what we're doing artwork wise and keep track of everything that's happening. So my apologies. Now I feel like I was ready to give up there. I thought, okay, I'll make an announcement and do this tomorrow, but yeah, I'll do this. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I am the creator of Color Art Products. I'm your host of ColorPlay Live, 3 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Thank you. Hello, Annette. Hello, Annette. Hello, John. Hello, Karen Stone. Hello, Luna. Hello, Janelle. Hello, Hazel. I'm so glad to see you here, Miss Annette. Please call me. Anyway, so what are we going to do today? Well, we've been playing around with the Purely Pigments and lots of our Bling It minerals. We've been also fooling around with a couple of the colors from the Serpentine set. Tomorrow, or actually on 4th of July, tomorrow I'm receiving the very first samples of the Dragon's Lair colors. So somewhere between Wednesday and Friday, we know for sure I'm going to be on Friday. I want to do a little sneak peek and maybe do one more live kind of showing them off so everybody can see the new Dragon's Lair set. So just take care of that arm. Annette got injured resining. There's accidents, breaking your arm or resining. So that's pretty major, but that means that's commitment to painting, baby. That means she doesn't let anything stop her. Annette is my hero. So, okay, so today you see me mostly swipe, okay? Very little bloom stuff. I'm not quite the expert that Saskia is. Saskia is always fabulous when she's doing the blooms with that airbrush. I will say that doing, getting stuff organized here for packing, I did run across my, hi there, Jennifer B. And thank you for saying that. Passing the healing prayers around to everybody is always good. I did run across my airbrush, but I didn't hook it up yet. But I am going to attempt to do a blown bloom. I'm going to start on a littler piece, and I do have a bigger board if we want to go on something bigger. So now again, this is the old school way of doing it, but so what? You guys have hung with me all this time. Let's just get this camera over here. Now I've already got 2 larger cups that have some Jo Sonja varnish in here. I'm gonna mix up a larger batch of some interference violet and gold. And if you've never used our interferences, our minerals are not like how they advertise white powder in the jar. Our gold is actually gold, guys. Actually gold, okay, in the jar. I have spent 30 years doing this and searched for the most incredible minerals I can find, and they're all not necessarily mica. There's other minerals that you can get coatings on that give you brilliant, brilliant color and refraction. So I'm gonna mix some of this interference gold in the varnish first. We're gonna make a big batch because I wanna use this as part of my background color. Definitely doesn't look white to me. And then in this cup, I've got some of my, it's not a cup, it's a jar. It's 1 part heavy gel medium, 4 parts deep base, or you can use vivid enamel, or you can use the polypore, right? So normally in a small little batch, I might do 1 little scoop, but I'm making enough for a background, a couple backgrounds, at least have this be main part of the background. I love what the interference does. So I'm mixing up. I was so worried I had too much varnish in there. I always get heavy-handed with that varnish. Look how beautiful that interference gold is. In that deep base / vivid enamel and varnish. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. It's feeling a little bit soupy to me. Yeah, I had my overhead, years ago, I got a scrambler from my overhead camera, and John, I was so excited I got it connected today. Now it's just figuring out the sound thing. I'm sure if I tested it more this morning, the sound thing might have been fixed before the live. I was just so excited I finally got it to connect that I didn't have any reverberation when I was trying to set the thing up. Okay, that doesn't look bad. This still looks a tiny bit juicy to me too. I'm gonna actually pour some of the varnish on here. I don't need to make that much. And let me get some of my interference violet here. Yes, somebody answer the phone. And get some of our gel medium deep base mix. 1 part heavy gel medium, 4 to 5 parts of your deep base, enamel, whatever it is you have, even polypore will work. These are so close, they're both interference. It doesn't really matter if I use the same stick. This is just going as part of my, I like a lot of interferences when I was doing the blooms. We're gonna try, ooh, look at that. We're gonna try to do a gorgeous, okay. So the colors I'm gonna actually mix up, I have some Purely Pigments Royal Violet, and we're gonna use, let's see, what is this? Lavender Quartz from the Crystal Serpentine set. Now I have some varnish that I had already pulled off from that violet. I thought I had too much varnish in there. Add a little scoop of this, whoops. A scoop of the Lavender Quartz. Yeah, you see all the sparkling, every color of the rainbow is in that blend. It is so gorgeous. Piping it. And then we're gonna add a drop of the Royal Violet Purely Pigments. I think this is set number 2. I could be wrong. Could have been in set number 3. And it's a bottle I've never played with. It's a brand new bottle I just opened up. Let's see, let's get 3 drops. It should be enough. Now, if you don't know about the Purely Pigments, I think everybody here does, but compared to a 2-paint or even our Vivid Intense, this has about 3 mils of color. Oh my God, yes, Casey, you're behind. When digging through all the pigments here to get them down to the warehouse and do the mystery boxes, I discovered over 100 Bling It blends I'd made and at least 50 primary elements that never ever were released. And so the Crystal Serpentine set is the new Bling It set, and the Dragon's Lair set, which I will reveal somewhere between tomorrow and Friday for everybody. I'm probably going to do a special extra live this week. I owe you guys one from last week. It has some of the lost colors. So over the last 19 years while I've been here at this lab, I've been making colors, but they don't all make it into the thing. Hey, Patty, how you doing? Oh, this is pretty. What was that color again? That's Royal Violet mixed with the Lavender Quartz. And look. Looky, looky, looky. How pretty that is. Sadly, I can't put that in resin because it would look like that in resin. As soon as it's put in acrylic, yes, it softens, but we know once it dries back and it's put under resin or some kind of varnish, you're going to get a lot of pop and wow, right? But yeah. He kind of has almost a, I don't know, a plummy, eggplanty, soft mauve-y. I see a lot of blue sparkle in that coming through in that Crystal Serpentine set. I think I need just a tiny bit more. You love the purples. Yes, you do. You girls that have taken your mystery boxes, I already know your secrets if you're a purple and gold girl or a green and copper. You told me your secrets. I still want a little extra blue in this thing, and because I can, because I can, I'm going to take some sparkle blue, just add a little pinch of a bigger particulate blue. This stuff is so gorgeous. You see almost every color of the rainbow in it. That's because our colors have multiple coatings on it. It's not just blue. You're going to see violet and other colors in this. Yeah, it's like you're creating your own color shift. You are correct. Okay, so we got those 2 colors made along with our 2 interferences. Yeah, I had to clean up the table last time after Jasmine got a little bit crazy here on the table. Now, one thing I'm going to do is a base. I'm going to mix this too. I'm going to lay my colors. Typically, when you're doing any kind of blooms or anything that you're blowing, you want your most opaque color on the bottom. I'm actually going to take, and I'm breaking the rules, or at least the standard rules. I'm going to make some Vivid Intense. What color is this one? Cobalt Aqua. This will be like putting my solid 2 paint on the bottom. But I'm going to mix it with a little Australian Floetrol instead of American Floetrol. Yeah, I know. It's like putting a cell activator on the bottom. But it's also like a little insurance policy. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be 4-to-1 like normal cell activators. I just want to use that as my thinning agent for my Vivid Intense. Why not? I got the material here. I can do whatever I want. It is my episode. It's still, now that still feels a little bit thin. I want a little bit more in there. I'm probably going to plump it up. You're going to think I'm nuts, but I'm going to plump it up just a tiny bit with this. I don't want to have a consistency issue. So you know that your base coat, this is not going to be my puddle pour, but this would be the color that goes down before. I want to make sure that it's got enough of a consistency there to hold up and not run, but I want the magic of what the cell activator does to it, right? Just a tiny bit more. There we go. So that's going to be my base color that has no shimmer to it, right? Casey, are you stirring up trouble as usual? She's always got people thinking outside of the box. Always got people thinking outside of the box. Be creative, folks. Yeah, chameleon is something different. True, but Saskia's correct. There is chameleon coating that's directly on the mica, but it is possible if the colors are mixed correctly, you can create a shift without having a chameleon coating. It's not easy. Stargazer is my one big claim to fame. That is a chameleon triple ship color without using chameleon coated micas. But most people are using chameleon coated micas. That's why I've been working on doing something of suspending them in some kind of liquid. I had a bunch of chameleon samples sent to me last year, and I've been working on a product that I want to make. Yeah. All right, so let's see, what next color? I want to play with the Tango Mango. Tango Mango. That's such a pretty color. This is technically a neon purely pigment, but it's a custom-made yellow-orange. And it's not necessarily for glowing in the dark as much as it's really, 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 really vibrant and gorgeous and beautiful and adds a lot of impact. Yeah, moving all this stuff out of the house has been the resin art products. What do you mean you're curious about the resin art products because they're wet? What do you mean resin art products are wet, Casey? They're powder, sweetheart. Okay, so let's get back to you know what? I was going to put some gold in there. But I think I'm going to put some interference violet in this Tango Mango. Why not? So I'm mixing interference violet first with some of my sparkle red. What doesn't work well with alcohol, guys? So you're asking if you can dry brush resin art in the mold. What Resinista did on Instagram, Casey, is she took a little bit of alcohol, got it on her brush, and dissolved just a little bit of resin art in the alcohol, but she didn't make it too watery. She kind of made it like a paint, and she painted the base of the bases using alcohol with the resin art. Yes, just kind of what Saskia just said, and it'll work. You have to get it at the right consistency, Catherine. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But everybody's in a resin mood today, and I was going to do resin last episode, but due to my little girl jumping all over the place, we weren't going to have any of that. Okay, so we've got interference violet, sparkle red, Tango Mango. Wow, that's an insane color. See, I want that in my resin too. But we know that we have to make our paint a little bit milky looking when we're working with acrylic, right? Before it turns into, wow, look at that. Oh, this one certainly didn't lose its pizzazz or shimmer. That's insane looking. So this is Sparkle Red, Interference Violet, about 5 drops of the Tango Mango. Still looks a little light for me color-wise after it's been put in the acrylic. I just want to deepen the color, put a few more drops in. Go. Give it a little bit more of a pop of color there. But I'm sure loving that violet and that yellow. Okay, so we got some of this. What have we got? We got some Molten Magenta. That is one of the new neon Purely Pigments. And this is Purple Agate. It's one of the Crystal Serpentine colors. Get a little varnish in here. Get a little bit of this. This is going to turn this really mauvey looking. And it happens to be going into Molten Magenta. Molten Magenta. So this is the Purple Agate, Molten Magenta. This over back into the box it belongs into. That is so pretty all on its own. Look at that powder. Look at this color. Molten, this is the Crystal Serpentine colors. Wow. Okay, so I know it's nuts to add this magenta. This is a neon magenta. But I just want to see like what... Well, if I can get one drop to come out here. It's my hand sample. If you see the handwriting on the bottom, so you know there's... Come on, baby, 1 drop. Let's see what 1 drop does. Oh, wow. That's crazy. 1 drop, it's purple. Add a couple more. Come on, Purely Pigment thingy, get me some color out of here. Sometimes these little droppers sure give you fits, and my little samples, that's way too much color in there. I just put way too much color in there, pouring it in. Or not. Wow. Look at that color. Woo! Ha. Okay. Yeah, definitely Snapdragon vibes. That is that Purple Agate. That is a pretty red violet. Okay, let's see what happens when we add some of this, our paint mix. All right, I got to get that paint mix in there. Oops. Don't taint our little scooper duper. I think it may not have enough of the base in it. This may be, well, considering how thin my... Well, I don't know about that purple. What else do I want in there? What did I add in there? I kind of want more red or blue, because I kind of got a mauve thing going on, and I think that's the... Think I can roll around in Snapdragon Impression Violet? Maybe. Maybe. That's pretty, but it kind of... I liked it better when it was... I liked it better when it looked like it was something that could go into resin. I think that's probably where I favor colors. Once the acrylic gets in there, it makes me sad, and then I have to remember what it's going to look like after it has a chance to lighten up, right? So right now I've got what looks kind of a yellowish. I need a real orange and I need a gold. So I'm wondering if I can actually just combine the two. But I mean, look at my colors here that I've got here. The coral is really gorgeous. But I did say orange, didn't I? This doesn't seem a little bright enough for me, and it's a really gorgeous color, so I want to see what it does. But I wanted something just for a little more contrast. I realized I was going to mix up this blue, and I still will. And I did have one more purple, but as both of those two kind of turn purple, it makes me think I need to go in a completely different direction. What if, I don't know, I don't want too many colors. I'm trying to avoid going rainbow. I don't have every bottle up on my table here. I cleaned up all my Purely Pigments before the broadcast started. I guess I'm going to go with the coral, but I am going to put quite a bit in here. For the coral, the sparkle on the coral, I'm actually just going to go straight sparkle red. Add some of the varnish in here because I want something to really give us contrast, a really bright contrast. Of course, again, it's my sample, says coral on the bottom. I have trouble when the bottles, I've used up so many of them. There's about 3 drops. Let's see what that gives us there. There's a little bit of varnish in the cup. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh. With just the sparkle red. Oh, that's really gorgeous. Okay, I am going to add a little bit more because I know I just want a couple drops. Come on, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That just gave me 5 drops. Because I know once I put it in acrylic, right, it's going to soften it. So let's get that in there. Now that gives me a different contrast than what I have going in here with just that purple and yellow. Need a little bit more color to zing it up. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh. The sea coral in that sparkle red. Oh my goodness, can you see that? That is spectacular. Feels a little thick to me. It's funny, some feel thin, some feel thick. Kind of try to get them all the same consistency, which is going to be a challenge, of course, for me anyway. All right, so I think all I've got left to do is I'm going to do a gold. I do have a sky blue and a mystic blue. I was going to add one primary element to this just to kind of show what you could do with the primary elements. Those of you that not seen me play with them. Primary elements, unlike Bling It, actually have color in them. What did you say? You purely just don't know what's... I tell you all of them, Karen, but that's not realistic. Set 1 is a great beginner set, but I've got to say the one that set number 3 really stole my heart away besides these new neons. But it's hard for me to pick, and asking me to pick between my kids is pretty much impossible. But they are up there individually. If there's individual colors that you really, really like from the different sets that I've shown off, you don't necessarily, I mean, you get a special better break at buying a whole set. But, okay, so this color is Primary Elements Mystic Blue. Yes, it looks very bluey in the jar, right? Mystic Blue. But it actually has a blue turquoise to it. Gonna see, it's gonna kind of turn like a turquoise blue for you, a little bit. There's a little bit of teal in it. Then I'm gonna add some sky blue. Yeah, Karen, if you have any left on there, absolutely, ma'am, you certainly can. That was 2, 3, 4 drops. Okay, let's see what we get on this. So we've added the Purely Pigments to just the blingets. We've added the Purely Pigments to a primer element. And now we've added a little bit of the paint mix to this blue that we just made. All right, so we got some colors here. It's not quite as turquoise as I remember my Mystic Blue. But that's okay, we've got a nice teal on the bottom because we're gonna use that Vivid Intense color on the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna get my area straightened up. I hope I can blow and still spin this thing. I got a smaller piece. I think this is the smaller out of the two. I do have a larger one. I want to try 2 of them. I don't need all the paper towels on here, but I did find by keeping one on it. I know my top is messy. Apologies. It's hard to keep your spinner pristine. But I know by keeping one of in the middle, it's interesting, in that one little piece of paper towel, it seems to cling to as we're doing this. So we're gonna move the camera up and over. Let's get that going here. That's not too bad a lighting there. I can see what's happening. No, it is a small piece. And just to be safe, I am covering up my containers. Again, this is the thing about the lives. And you're gonna do the same thing at home. At home, you don't cover them up and then you knock it over. Well, I'm gonna do my best to rush this out for you. Now, blowing on this little thing will be easier because it's not that big of a canvas, but I've not had much luck blowing them out. So I figured go small to big and see what we can get here. All right, so I have some Amsterdam white thin down. I'm gonna use this a really thin coat of this on the bottom. Just a little bit of it. I don't want a lot. Just enough to get the paint to flow, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to sit down and see if I can do this from down here. Now here's the thing without my mic hooked up, because the mic was giving us trouble last time. I don't think it would now, but it might be harder to hear me because I'm sitting down here at this point. Give me a minute. For some reason, my live feed on YouTube wants to take me back to the beginning. Okay, here we go, because I got to be able to see what's in this camera here. Let me get this kind of lubricated with this white, so at least there's enough there. I'm going to start with this Vivid Intense. I'll just start with a puddle in the middle. Actually, it looks a little thick to me. Mix up some of this interference violet in the middle here. Here's that really fun mauvey purple with that purple agate in it. Let's see what this looks like all blown out. Here is some of our interference sparkle red, that's right, with the sea coral. And some of the mango tango with the interference violet and sparkle red. Here's a little bit of interference gold, but I'm also going to kind of put it as a ring around this, just a little ring around. Vivid Intense. I may have enough colors there. I don't know if I really want to use this blue. I kind of want to start with what I have, see what happens. I realize when we get a little overexcited, use way too much color. Get some area down here where I can use these to swipe my tools. Okay, so let's see what happens when we try to blow this thing. Now everybody tells me to go straight up and then over and out. Most of my experience of blowing has been with when we were using the little, what you call it, turkey baster. I'm going to put this setting here on cool. Okay, let's do my little torch in the center and see if we can't get those cells to activate by the heat. Just a little warmth, okay? And by the way, it was Saskia that turned me onto this fabulous spinner. I sure wish they were not still out of stock on Amazon. Because for $15.99, while it may not look glorious, it works really well. And for the cost, you cannot beat it at all. A little bit. You have a little sound effect happening here. Yeah. Yes, that yellow's popping for you, Casey. Casey loves her yellow, as we know. So I'm wondering what I need to do to get those cells to kind of open up more in the middle. It looks like there's a little bit too much cell activator there. Now I know that if I pull it over to this way, in theory, the paint should go further to this end and stretch it over. Seems like we lost all that sea coral though. I wonder if I can actually stretch this just a bit. The colors are sure pretty, but maybe I don't have enough paint on this. I was trying to be so careful with the paint, right? This is not a bad little test. I know, I'm liking what's happening here. I'm getting this rainbow thing here, and I wish it would spread all the way over where we've got the yellow and the pink inside of each other. Okay, I'm gonna give it a hefty spin and see if it does anything. Spread this thing out as much as gravity allow me to. Don't get impatient, Leslie. Because we know this is the only way that's gonna do it, is letting gravity do its thing. Yeah, now that yellow is really starting to open up in the middle. Wow, this is kind of cool. I kind of like how wide all that got. That's not bad, actually. I can move some of this gold down here. But I think in the next one, I need to get a little bit more aggressive. Let me get this off someplace safe. Yes, let's find that place called someplace safe. I'm laughing because I don't really have any place someplace safe behind me. Okay, this is the next size up. Much bigger. I'll be a little bit more generous with the white. I'm not a huge fan of a big fat puddle that wipes all the color out, and maybe that's just because I'm so OCD about the color. Can't seem to help myself. So I'll put a little more white down this time than I did last time. Make sure it's well lubricated to the edges. I do like what that Vivid Intense did on the base. It makes a nice base. They're pretty much opaque colors, which is really the best thing to have on a base. Now this feels a little bit thick to me when I poured it out, so I'm going to take a little license. Oh no, that's right, I thinned this one down with a Floetrol. I'm going to leave it the way it is, sadly. It did feel a little bit thick, but not as thick as some of the other colors. Okay, I'm going to put the violet in the middle. And I'm also going to put the violet all the way around the edges here. And then I think this time I'm going to make sure I add a good generous amount of this really pretty sea coral color. It's so pretty how that coral turned completely different color in that sparkle red. It's nuts how I did that. So you make sure we got a generous amount of that in there. I'll add some of the yellow because the yellow for Casey. Casey loves her yellow. I never end up making a gold, but that's okay. We can live without a gold today. But we do have some interference gold. This time I will add that mystic blue that we made. I left this out last time. And it seems like I didn't have enough paint, to be honest. This is feeling a little bit thick. You should have the right to say, hey, it doesn't feel right. I mean, at any moment, you should be able to fix your stuff if it just doesn't feel right. Yeah, that coral is so gorgeous. Yeah, Karen, I don't quite have the lungs to blow through the straw. What we were using was the turkey baster with the bulb taken off the end, and you put your mouth on the wide part. When that class first launched, that's what we were doing, right? Here's the other purple that I made that we didn't use. Oh, it's too thick. If it doesn't, it's funny, it shouldn't be that thick. Okay, so what are we missing? Missing something that's gonna make me feel like it's gonna pop, pop, pop. I think just for grins and giggles, I'm gonna add another little bit of the turquoise. Why not? Right here underneath my cell activator. That's such a pretty color. This is a bigger piece, so it looks like it needs more paint. I'm not completely happy with my outside here, so I'm gonna still add another ring of, I think this is the gold. I wanna make sure this time around, there's enough paint for it to spread all the way out. And it's different with the cell activator when you're putting it in here and hoping that the blow dryer gets it versus being able to take a tool and make sure that that cell activator gets spread around like it's supposed to. So I'm going to drizzle a little bit out here on top of all these other colors that we got. It's not really a Dutch pour, Leslie, but you do need to blow it. Okay, I'm going to put it on the cool setting. It's pretty high, but it's a cool setting. Got a lot more activity this time than the last time. I'm really loving that sea coral. I sure wish more of it would pop out. That sea coral mixed with that red is the winner, man. Well, that kind of helped. All I did was turn it on high and put it on higher heat and put it on high above, and all those little cells opened up in the middle. That's kind of cool. Let's let this puppy really have a good swing. Now that's going to be a little bit prettier. We are going to have to let this thing develop. And I mean, I can hit it with the heat one more time and let it spin one more time. Yeah, she's got, Terry Lechner is amazing. She took the color mixes and wrote them down. And I really want to get them typed up, whether, you know, we split it, we both type it up to where, now that's interesting. I'm enjoying this one. I think once this is fully developed, this will be really, really gorgeous under the epoxy. I'm kind of afraid with the blowing thing, you know. Everybody just, we don't want to screw it up on camera, especially on a live. Lives are very challenging. So this way we can get a good close-up of how pretty this is. I'm really loving those pink bits from the sea coral. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh my goodness, and the purple, that purple I popped on there, that purple agate is really coming through. I can see that shifty on that purple there. Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be the two for today. Ooh, wow, let's see and take a look at the piece that I put in supposedly a safe spot. Look at this. Woo! See how that center opened up with all that pretty yellow? I know someone who likes yellow. Okay, so there they are, ladies and gentlemen. I know my top is messy. Had I had someone here to help me, I'd have a clean sheet down and put these two on top. So a little bit of business. Get the phone down here. So if it lets me get the phone down here and speak to you guys. So the Belize page got built, but I did get asked by, whew, it's warm here. I got asked by Luciana, you know, some very important questions that we forgot to put up there. She goes, who are we raising the money for? We're doing a fundraiser to move the lab. The building that I work in and live in and produce and design products in is sold. And I have to come up with extra capital to move. So Fairy Art Mother, she's also known as Judy Sand, has a villa. They have two villas. This family of 10 people have two villas in Mexico. It's not Mexico, she corrected me. It's Central America, because you can actually book an excursion to go check out the Mayan ruins. It's way below regular old Mexico. So this is a villa that has a concierge service, so they can book you excursions. They can book you a massage. There is a chef there that will cook a certain amount of meals a week. You guys just give him money back for the food. He'll bring you a receipt from the local market when he goes out and buys whatever fresh fare to cook for you. There is a housekeeping service that will come and do your laundry every day and pick up. But they rent this place out year round. It's just the 10 families pick their 5 weeks. And like she did for the giveaway, Tammy Anderson and Artist Till Death 3 years ago, Erica from Artist Till Death went down there with a group of women and they did an artist retreat at this house. And it's beautiful. How many tickets? Heather, I would really like to leave it to 200. I want to limit it to 200 tickets. And also I plan on doing an art sale this weekend. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do the sale. I've got to make sure I'm not intruding on people's 4th of July, but it's time to top coat all these pieces and get them ready. And so if I sell an item that's $99 or over, that item's also going to get a raffle ticket unless 200 of you guys buy them out. Now, you can book any of the one of the 5 weeks, and no, airfare is not included because we wouldn't know where your airfare would be. But that's a good question. But the house for a week, which rents at $690 something a day, it's like a $5,000 value to go down there. It would be transferable. You can give it to a friend. And if you look on the website, or even online, you just type in Jammin, Jammin, Gecko, Gecko, Villa. You'll see the whole villa there that they rent out year round. And we're fortunate that she's donating a week's stay to me to try to help me move. Second prize, I've decided there's a kangaroo that Cindy Porter painted years ago. It's this blue kangaroo. She's got eyelashes, so I know it's a girl. Her paintings go for about, actually, no, Heather, the house sleeps 10. 14 if you've got kids, 10 adults, 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms. You can book massages. You can book a trip to, I wanted to do this. I almost went when they went. I mean, I was looking at all the excursions like trip to the Mayan ruins, or they've got these inner tubes you get into and float through these caves, right? It's okay, Heather, it's okay. Don't apologize. I just started talking about it now. And so last night I got a message from Lutrana. Who is it for? Who's benefiting? I am. We're moving the lab. How do I enter? You do your $99 donation. Your invoice number is your raffle number. And you can buy as many tickets as you want. That gives you more chances to have your name chosen. Now, Kathleen McGee doesn't know it yet, but she doesn't seem that shy. She may be the one helping me pick the numbers on, we're looking at trying to schedule it July 20th broadcast on Saturday to pick the winner for the Belize stay in 2025. It's either going to be ping pongs or slips of paper 0 to 9, because all the invoices will start with 6-5 or 6-6. Right now we're at the 6-6 series. So it's the last 3 digits we would have to pick, like it's 736 or 705 or 912. So if we have ping pongs from 0 to 9, ping pong balls 0 to 9, and we're picking the last 3 digits live, you're seeing it live. I would kind of like to have someone help me. If Miss McGee can't do it, I'm probably going to look for a volunteer. We'll do a co-hosting thing where someone just picks the numbers and helps me. That way, someone can't say a friend of mine won it when practically every single one of you guys have been customer of mine for the past 29 years, basically are my friends. So it would be better if someone helped me do a third party choosing the last 3 digits. But this is a very generous prize for her to give. And yeah, we've got to, thank you, Janelle. That's awesome. We got a lot of money to raise. I got to get out of here. We got the double whammy at the building, which you guys helped me at. And now we've got this house. And you know, I need to be in a single story house. It's time. It's just having it happen all at once is a challenge. So that's why we're doing the mystery boxes. Another bit of news. All you remember when you're purchasing, there was an issue over the past couple of weeks where it was giving too much away in free freight. We fixed it. So you'll see your 10% discount when you're at the final checkout. It'll say member 1 discount, $8.31 or whatever it is. You'll see your 10% off at the time you're checking out. That's built in. That doesn't keep you from using a coupon code, which means you can still use summer 24. The code we have running right now will add an extra 17% off to your order. or you can use an affiliate code of one of your favorite affiliates to save an extra 5% if that's what you choose. Mystery boxes are in production. Last week, I just had to let them rip off the Band-Aid. They drove out of here with an SUV up to the ceiling with pigments, and they're breaking them down like crazy today. So that's going on. And I hope everybody has a great 4th of July. I mean, in the middle of all of this, it's a holiday. We're having a holiday. So if you're staying close to home, stay safe. For me, I peek out the window and watch the fireworks now. I don't have anybody here, sadly, locally that I can go to watch fireworks with. But if I could, I'd go down to the school and watch the fireworks and hang out with everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful barbecue or whatever it is that you're doing. And stay safe and be with your family and hug each other, give each other lots of love. And just another day for me. Well, yes, for some of us it is. We just kind of stay in and hang out and stay safe. I do want to flip the camera one more time because these pieces are developing now that I've jawed your ear off for a little bit more. Yes, if you buy an art piece that's over $100, you will be entered into the raffle. That is correct. I'm going to make sure that people that are the art supporters. One more time, Mike, here's what it looks like, even though it's going to kind of be hard to see this, but we are getting some really nice development on that second one that I did the extra blowing on. So I'm really happy with how that's turning out. And this one ain't too bad either. So I hope you guys have a fantastic Tuesday. Happy 4th of July, each and every one of you. Love you guys. Hugs and kisses. See you on Friday. However, they're going to give me the new Dragon Lair set tomorrow when we do the bank run. I will be doing some sneak peek. It's not a sneak peek. I'm probably going to come on between now and Friday for those of you that are bored. And I might just be lining them up and doing my normal thing of swatching them all. So everybody gets a chance to see them all. Happy 4th of July. Love you guys. See you Friday for sure. Bye.